Okay, so here to help you check your work and give you other options. If you didn't get it to work, just some things to think about and do with your program. So even if you got it working, take a look at this because there are some options here in terms of how to make this work. So first of all, this is how you make a spot for 100 different integers starting from 0 up to 99 in terms of index number. Need a variable to hold the sum, need a variable to count and hold how many even numbers are generated, and then I need some variables to store the min and max. Now there's a few options here. If you remember this is the smallest possible integer value, and that's how you do that. So I'm setting the max to the smallest. In this case, I could also have just set it to 0 because I know the range is starting at 1. So if I set the max to 0, I know something will beat it, will be larger than it. And same with the min. I could set the min to the largest possible value, and that's the code to do that. Or you could just set it to 501 or 500. So either one of those would work. Now I have a loop that's going to loop and fill this array with random numbers. I guess the thing that you want to make sure you have here is you should not put this to 100. Make that be the length. Just get in the habit of always using and looping to the length. So always when you can, loop to the length. There's my random number generator. That'll generate a number from 1 lowest, 500 highest. There's the sum code. And then here's the check to see if the number that I just generated is even. Remember, mod is the remainder when dividing. So the remainder of dividing when dividing by 2 is 0, means it's even. So I increase my variable that determines has the number of even numbers. Next, I have another option for min-max. You could also just set the max to the first and the min to the first value in the array now that they're there. And then it's quite likely that it will be beaten or will have a new max, new min. So that's another option. I commented those out just in case you had them. If you went straight conditionals, this is what it would look like. If the current number just generated is larger than the max, set that current number just generated or that position in the array to the max. That's using a conditional. You can also use the math function, math.max, to determine. Does essentially the exact same thing. It just determines whether this number is larger than this number or vice versa and sets it to my max. So same thing with the min. So a couple options there. So that gives me part 1. If I go down here, that's what this would generate, this whole section with my printout statements right there. The sum, the number of even numbers, the largest, and then the smallest. So that was part 1. Part 2 was this, creating the random teams, and just a few things to take a look at. So I declared, using an initializer list, 3 different string arrays. They're actually different sizes or close to or can be. It wouldn't matter. I have states, I have mascots, I have sports. And they're all filled already with lists. And then I have a loop. Now in this case, I did put a 3 here, not something I like to do, but I know I just wanted 3 different random team names. But you'll notice that when I pick a random value from that states array, I use the length to multiply it rather than counting it myself, because when I should use that length variable in the array. So there's a random state, here's a random mascot, okay, right there, and here's a random sport. And there's the loop right there. You could have broken that down into different integers, but that is the loop that generates a random set of sports teams names with a location, a mascot, and a sport. So hope this helps. Check in with me if you have any questions.